What is up, my good people of the internet? Appreciate your patience here this morning here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning this morning, hanging out inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill coming to you on 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey, New York at the Heritage Hill Brew House. And that fantastic view in any direction is beautiful and like walking into a painting. I suggest that you all get yourselves out to Heritage Hill Brew House and experience what it's like to walk into art, essentially, and get some awesome food and drinks and see the animals and hang out in the hammocks. Great time. And, of course, their newest location, Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, right at Sweetheart Corners. You'll find them next to Applebee's, and just a wonderful establishment, Heritage Hill North. Definitely got to come and check it out. They got the barn door inside, which I absolutely love. I want one of those in my house. And they got the surround sound, so when we sit there and we do the show, like, you can hear us through any nook and cranny of Heritage Hill North. It's really cool. And of course, it's the home of our CNS North Stars special broadcast that we do on site every single month. We're going to be there tonight, August 16th at 6 p.m. We're going to do a CNS North Stars training special featuring trainer Pete Moore and a bunch of the student athletes. Their families are coming out. We're going to have, the movie Training Day? We're going to have training night. So we're going to have a great time hanging out with them. It's going to be live on all of the channels that you're with us right now. And for those of you that are on that are capable of coming out, come out and see us. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT for those of you out of town and can't make it. WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, where we are now, is where we'll be tonight on all of these channels worldwide. And at the same time, I suggest if you can make it out to Heritage Hill North, come out, get some dinner. We're doing it right at dinner time. So this tonight, August 16th, 6 p.m., come get some dinner, hang out with us, have a great time, support CNS, support the kids, support Pete Moore and everything he's doing because he's awesome, and of course support the community, Dan Palladino and Heritage Hill at Heritage Hill North tonight, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York. Big time show coming up today. Friday we do our trio of signature segments inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. We're going to start things off with the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we're going to jump into LEAD, the acronym that stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, and my wonderful brother and fearless leader of Chick-fil-A Cicero, that is Jimmer Sikowski. The top dog of the week comes to you proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And then we'll get into my DT on the CFP. It's what I'm calling my coverage of the college football playoff from here on moving forward. And you heard from one of the bowls that will be in rotation on the journey to the national champion every single season, that being the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Scotty Rogers joined me, Vice President of Communications for the Cotton Bowl, and you can check out that special on Facebook.com /WakeUpCallDT and on YouTube.com /WakeUpCallDT. Well, today we're talking with Gary Stokan, the CEO and president of Peach Bowl Inc., which oversees the Aflac Kickoff game, formerly the Chick-fil-A Kickoff game. The Aflac Kickoff game, which starts off the season. This season it's Clemson versus Georgia. Next season there's two, one of them being Tennessee and Syracuse, which is awesome. Of course, my hometown of Syracuse, New York. So we're going to talk about that. You're going to see that today. You're also going to have our conversation on the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which is in rotation as one of the New Year's Six with the Cotton Bowl, of being part of the road to the national champion in the quarterfinal or semifinal round throughout every single season of the college football playoff from here forward, with its expansion to 12 teams from 4. So Gary Stokan going to be joining me to speak on the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the Aflac Kickoff game, the history of the Peach Bowl, and more importantly, what they do for the community, their service to others, and giving back and helping people and having a strong faith is all coming up here with Gary Stokan. So very excited for that. Let's jump into the annoying moment of the week to start things off here where sports meets life.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. Well, here with the annoying moment of the week. Very happy to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, hanging out here. The annoying moment of the week, folks, you know that there's a lot of different places that I can go to. There's a lot of different places that we have gone to with the annoying moment of the week. And really, folks, I mean, it's one of those things where there's so many avenues to go down, but one of the things that sticks with me, and I've talked about it before, is why have the drivers in my hometown gotten so bad? Like, why are Syracuse and Central New York, like, what? Not everybody. Some of y'all are fine, but some of y'all, like, I want y'all to get tested again. Go out there and do that little driver's ed thing one more time. Let me see it, you know? Let me make sure that you're actually stopping at the stop sign and, you know, not go. I mean, people that going through lights, and what is this thing with, I mean, I guess it's like you just see the green, so you go. Like you just see it somewhere, so you decide to go. What do I mean by that? You know the people when you're driving behind somebody and they're at the red light, right? And there's an advanced green arrow on the left side. So that advanced green arrow turns on and that person just starts to go through the red light because they just see green. It's like, oh, there's green there, man. I got to go. There's green. I'm good to go. It's like, no, as soon as they see green pop up, they're at the red light. The green light is for the turn only left side. And as soon as they see that left turn green, they start to go. And I've seen more than one person go through it. My buddy and I were talking about stuff yesterday. I saw a guy go he like went up to the light, got like was like through like past where you're supposed to stop, stopped, and then just went on. And I was like, what? Like, what is going on? Are people just not paying attention? But that's the thing, and I could be better at this, trust, because I call myself out. We can all be better at this, I think. But, you know, I think a lot of people are looking at their cell phones. I think a lot of people are looking at their cell phones while they're driving. I do. I've done it. I shouldn't. None of us should. But people looking at their cell phones, you know, and just not paying attention to what's going on around them. So they see anything look a little bit green and they start to go. But some of these drivers, man, in Syracuse, my hometown. I love my hometown. Y'all know that. My hometown means the world to me. And some of the people that drive through here, I'm like, if I got people visiting, I'm like, don't judge us by these people that you're seeing. Don't be thinking things based on what you saw on the road today. This is not all of us. This is some of us. But the fair's coming up. And people get a little crazy with the fair. So all I'm saying is, if y'all are already driving a little bit weird, a little bit wild, and what do you mean by that, Dan? Well, some people are driving too slow, which is not safe. Some people are driving way too fast, which is not safe. Some people are not paying attention, which is not safe. Some people are going through when they're at like a 3-lane stoplight, and you got the turning lane, and then 2 going straight, red, and they see the green light on the side, they start to go. That's not safe. So I'm just saying, be a little bit safer. But speaking of the road, I don't know a ton about the why they're doing it. And so I'm going to preface by saying that I don't know the benefits of doing this. But getting rid of 81 through the city seems like one of the most idiotic things that you could do to my city. One of the dumbest things. I'm going to put it to you like this. Florida's a second home. Y'all know that. We got a hub in Florida. I work with a lot of teams down there. We've worked with businesses down there. We got our Disney show that we do that connects down there. Got a lot of things that we do in the great state of Florida. I don't understand. I'm trying to, but I don't understand the benefit of taking out a highway through a city. I don't understand what that does to make life better for any of us. It doesn't make sense to me. See, when you're in Florida and traffic gets too crazy, they build another highway. They don't get rid of the road they built on top of that road. If you go down to Florida right now, and you used to go down to Florida within the last 20, 30 years, the airport, MCO, the Orlando International Airport, when you leave MCO, you used to leave on a road. Like it's just you just go out, you leave on a regular road, you go down the road, you make a right, you go down that road, you get on the highway. This way or that way. Or you could take Boggy Creek, which would take you a different way. And that's what the road was. That's it. Alan said tunnel. They say it will put more people downtown. Yeah, and that, Chuck, I was going to get to that, so I appreciate you bringing that up, man. But, so back to Florida. So when you used to come out of the Orlando International Airport, you would literally come down a street, and you could go left, you could go right. If you went right, you go down there, and then you could either go like straight to Tampa or make a right to Orlando. They were just roads. Coming out of Orlando, just roads. You tell somebody that now, they think you're nuts. They're like, with all the people coming out here, there's no way in hell. But they were just roads. They built a highway, and they built a highway high, like really high. It like you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Like you feel like you're down in Orlando and you're still at Disney or Universal when you're going in or out of the airport, because they built this thing high, and you're like up in the air, like you're gonna touch the plane air, and then you go in or you come out. And they built those roads to try and move people out. They're like, okay, you know what? This is Orlando. We can't just have people driving on a street here. We got to make it a highway. So they made it a highway. And then they're always doing construction down in Orlando. But I go down all the time. So I'm seeing the growth, and I'm seeing it happen. And when I see this 81 nonsense that's going on right now, and I'm not saying nonsense to the construction workers. They're just doing their jobs. You know, I'm happy people got jobs, because there's politicians saying that there's a ton of people working and new jobs and blah, blah, blah. And I don't see that, because everywhere I go is understaffed. Every restaurant you go to is understaffed. Every place you go to doesn't have enough people. You go to Dollar Tree, there's one person working. There's one person, one register. They're the person that you call if you have an issue. They're the person that's stocking the shelves. There might be one other person with them that you see sometimes, but that's it. I don't know how they run these businesses with one person in the store, but that's because people don't want to work, because they got free money over the last few years. I said that when it happened. I'm not saying the stuff during COVID like help people out, like help businesses out and help people out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the incentivized, like, don't ever go back to work again, and we'll just keep giving you checks every week or every month. You know, when you tell somebody you don't have to work and I'll give you free money, why would that person want to work? And if that person didn't have any drive before, they definitely don't have any drive now. When you hand people a precedent of doing nothing and getting something, they're not going to want to do anything, because you've already told them that they don't have to do anything to get something. So why would they do something? And that's what you have now. And you also have a generation of kids that everybody got a trophy, and now those kids don't feel like working. Some of them are fantastic. But some of the kids in the generation of everybody gets a trophy for 15th place and 8th place, when people say, how come I can't get these kids to go to work? I train them. They don't show up. They quit. They don't care. I ask them to make something this way. They won't make it that way because they don't feel like it. They're on their cell phone because they know they can go right back to unemployment. So to the people that are out there working, I appreciate you and I respect you, because if you have the capability of working, if you have the wherewithal to work, right? I'm not talking about people that, you know, are in the hospital. I'm not talking about people that have a mental disability or whatever going on where, you know, they can't do this or they can't do that or like whatever. I also believe, because I grew up by a house of people that had different mental, I don't like calling them disabilities or handicaps. That's what they called it growing up. But they had, they needed extra help. And I've always been drawn to the fact that, like, those people deserve the same opportunities as anybody else because we're all people. I don't see difference. Like, a person is a person. And if you believe in God and being made in the image and likeness of God, then you believe that everyone deserves an equal opportunity to chase their dreams and catch them. And I hope everybody does. But I digress from my point. The construction workers, I'm not knocking them because they're just doing their job. I'm knocking the plan because the plan is stupid as hell. And it doesn't make any sense. And you're talking to a guy who travels a lot. You're talking to a guy who has an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton. So if you make it harder for me to get through where I need to get to Binghamton, that's annoying. I'm a broadcaster, as you know. I'm sitting on the air right now. I cover Syracuse University athletics. I cover Lemoyne College athletics. I cover Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse athletics. All of that is around the city area. So if you're going to make it more difficult to do what I want to do, I'm not about that. And I'm not about it. I'm not about this stupid plan. And why did I bring up Florida? I brought up Florida because when Florida runs out, like when Florida builds a highway and the highway gets too busy, they build another highway. Usually on top of that highway. They build it above the highway. There's like highway, then the traffic pattern gets too crazy. They build a highway above that highway, and then they build I joke around with my mom all the time that they're building it to heaven because they just keep going up and up and up. So I got a state that I do a ton of work in that continues to build on top of their highway when they feel like traffic is getting too busy. Disney's done it. Disney's totally changed the traffic patterns of like going to Hollywood Studios. They changed, like, you got to go through the different entrance now. They got rid of the other entrance. But Magic Kingdom's totally different. Magic Kingdom's got a highway. When you go through the entrance of Magic Kingdom, you go on a highway. You go on a highway before you went on a road. So I'm down in Florida seeing them continue to build to help alleviate the stress of their traffic. And then I come back home and I see Syracuse destroy and tear down in order to help with the stress of their traffic. That doesn't make any sense. Now, the argument was we're going to force everybody to go downtown, so we're going to revitalize downtown, and we're going to bring businesses to downtown maybe, and the businesses that are downtown are going to get more people because more people are going to be driving by. Oh, they're going to be driving by. They're going to be driving by pissed. They're not going to be driving by going, ooh, I should eat here. They're going to be driving by going, ooh, I hate this. I don't want to drive through the city. I want to drive around the city. There's many ways for me to get to the Dome to cover a game. And I can go through the city, but I choose not to. Why? Because there's a billion red lights, there's one-ways, and there's traffic. There's always traffic by upstate. There's always traffic if I come down and I'm coming around that area and the public safety building and all that stuff and the War Memorial. If I decide to come through there and then go down the road and take a left where the Civic Center and all that is, and I go straight, that 4 or 5 lanes, that gets busy as hell. That's why I don't take it. So if you're going to take the highway where Adams Street is, where it always gets busy, right? You're on the highway, and then you get off the highway, and you go underneath the highway, and that road is always busy going into the Dome. If you're going to take out okay, here's what common sense tells you. If you take out the highway above that, and the highway is busy, and the road underneath it is busy, let's take a Syracuse basketball game, for example. Por ejemplo. So let's do it for example here, right? If Adams Street is a busy exit, and the highway is above the people under the highway that are all traffic going to the game. If you take out the highway, then all those people come down with all the other people in the already congested traffic, and now the congested traffic is more congested. Again, when Florida sees that, they go, busy underneath, busy up top, let's build another highway above the people on the ground. And whoever in Syracuse made the decision have said, let's take it all down and put everybody in the same spot. So if you're trying to get on the highway and trying to get to Binghamton, they're like, oh no, we're going to send them around the city. You're going to inconvenience all these people for what purpose? What is the purpose? And by the way, the traffic right now is a pain in the butt. You got a ton of people driving on the highway that you're trying to get rid of. And because you're doing construction, getting rid of the highway, there's traffic. It added another 13 to 15 minutes to my trip a couple days ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to be right on time. Maybe I'll be a minute early. Nope. 13 minutes late. 15 minutes late. Not my fault, but they had closed right when you passed the dome. They had closed going toward Binghamton. They closed the left side and the right side. They closed the left lane and the right lane. Middle lane was open. And I was like, look at this. Like, this in and of itself should tell you that this isn't going to work. You got people trying to drive on this highway doing what they need to do, and we have traffic on the highway. So you're going to take all of this traffic, put it on the ground with the rest of the traffic, and you're going to make the traffic more congested. And people are saying, this is a great idea. This is just a wonderful, wonderful idea. Thank goodness that people support this beautiful idea. And I'm sitting here going, who's getting paid for this? You know what I mean? What politician owed somebody something to do this construction? Because what is the benefit of this? You're already making traffic terrible by tearing down and working on the highway bit by bit. And think about it. How many times in history do you see a city or a town tear something down in order to evolve? These roads have been up here forever. Do you know how much money it costs? We're paying our tax dollars for them to destroy something so that we don't have a highway there. People in America, I thought, are all about building, right? And what do they say? Don't burn your bridges? Well, we're tearing ours down. So, you know what I mean? And for what purpose? To piss off more people, to cause more traffic? Well, it's going to help people to go downtown. It's going to help people to go downtown sitting in their cars screaming, going, I can't believe I got to wait in this dang traffic. It'll help them want to do more things downtown. No, it'll help them be pissed off. Why would you destroy something you created that's been there for such a long time? Why would you get rid of that? You created that. And you're going to tear it down bit by bit? It makes more sense to fix it, repair it, revitalize it, than to destroy it. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And if y'all got thoughts on it, send it to me. But I don't get it. I'm going to look up right now, just for giggles here. They said that this is being done to improve mobility, rebuild city infrastructure. Infrastructure is a word that politics use all the time. Improve transportation and strengthen neighborhoods, parks, and public spaces. That's what they said. I mean, it's going to change traffic patterns. Then the State Department of Transportation awarded a $313.5 million contract. This is crazy. I mean, the amount of money that's in this. Yeah. The Interstate 81 project, $2.25 billion. And I'm still trying to understand who it's helping. I mean, it's giving somebody money, that's for sure. But we're looking at this now. It says Krause Avenue will be widened from 2 lanes to 3, with 2 northbound lanes and 1 southbound. Irving Avenue will also be reconstructed to handle more traffic. The street, which currently ends at East Fayette Street, will be extended north to Erie Boulevard East. The new 690 interchanges are intended to relieve traffic congestion that currently causes backups on 81 southbound and northbound on the Harrison Adams interchanges. 2 bridges along I-690 will be replaced over Lodi and Krause. 7 additional streets will be reconstructed. Portions of Erie Boulevard, Burnett, and Walnut Avenues, East Fayette, Canal, Lodi, and East Water Streets. New pedestrian and cyclist amenities will include bike lanes, which is, I mean, listen, if you ride a bike, great. But the fact that they minimized Erie Boulevard and took away a lane so that there could be a bike lane in the middle, I find that to be outrageous. And again, it doesn't help. Erie Boulevard is one of the busiest roads, and they took away a lane. It doesn't make sense. New traffic video detection signals will be installed to prevent vehicles from running red lights. Well, we talked about that. That's cool. The newly extended Irving Avenue, you can do that without tearing down roads, though. So it said, what does it say here? Nearly half a mile of sewers will be replaced with new lines that separate stormwater from sewage. That's good. Reducing the potential for sewage overflows and cutting down the amount of wastewater that's treated at the Metro sewage plant. The project will remove 20 million to 30 million gallons of combined sewer overflow from the system. I like that. But, yeah. These companies were awarded over $380 million. Yeah. I mean, this, hey, I'm all about, what did Chuck say? Harrison is busy because that's where all the hospitals and universities. Yeah, I mean, Adams and Harrison, that area is insane. But I've always been a proponent of putting more there, right? Having a wider, I mean, the fact that you have people coming from different highway systems all merging into I-81 and then all having to get off of Adams and the Adams Street, it's not big enough. So I'm a proponent of widening the area of the people that are staying on 81 toward Binghamton, widening the Adams Street exit so that people, because that traffic is insane. Again, instead of going to the high traffic areas and providing us more highway, they're destroying all of the highway, saying that it's going to be better. And I'm not saying all the highway like everywhere. I'm saying all of it in that area. You don't tear down a highway to help with traffic patterns. You build more. You build another lane. You build above it another highway. You build an offshoot. I don't know. Maybe New York State should call Florida. Florida seems to be making better decisions than us anyways. So maybe they should just ask them some thoughts on traffic. And the fact that when there's issues with traffic down in Florida, they just keep building. And those construction people get jobs, but they're jobs that actually seem that they make common sense, as opposed to ripping down a highway, forcing everybody to drive through the city and saying, well, we're going to extend the streets. Streets don't equal highway. You can't drive on a street the same speed you drive on a highway. Well, you're not supposed to. And what do highways not have? Stoplights. What do highways not have? Stop signs. So, again, I'm all about revitalizing and helping the city, and I'm all about the businesses downtown. I don't think this is going to make people want to hang out at the businesses. I think it's going to make people really pissed off that it takes longer to get home from work. That's what I think. You know what I mean? I was like, well, now you're forcing people to go into the city, so you think if I force them to go to the city, then they'll eat at these restaurants and they'll go to these shops. And it's like, if you force people to do anything, I don't know if you want to see their response. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not confident they're going to be like happy about what you said, or I'm not happy about what you did. You know what I mean? I don't see people saying, yeah, you know what? I like that. I like that. I like the fact that you forced me to do something I didn't want to do. And you know what? Now that you forced me to do it, now I really want to do it. I don't see that happen in normal flow of life. When you typically force somebody to do something, their reaction is negative, not positive. So, I don't want somebody walking in my restaurant going, I'm only here because I can't get home and I'm stuck in traffic and it's like a friggin' parking lot out there. So I thought to myself, I should just eat now or else I'm going to die. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody coming in there feeling like that. But Chuck said, let's not give Florida too much credit. Hey, Chuck, whatever the media tells you about Florida, I'm down there all the time. And I tell people this all the time. Don't listen to what the media has to say about something. Go see for yourself. And people say, well, Dan, you're in the media. Yeah, but I'm honest. And they say, well, Dan, they're honest. Yeah, but I have a track record of I tell you the truth. And you can go fact check. I don't have to think about what I've said the last 20 years. Now, I go down to Florida all the time. And Chuck, there's a lot of people moving to Florida. They are building in Florida all the time. So, people might tell you, oh, Florida's this and Florida's that and Florida's this and Florida's that. Florida is one of the most beautiful states in the country. Florida has beaches everywhere. Florida has a ton of colleges and universities and a ton of great teams. I've covered the Miami Dolphins. I've covered the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've covered the South Florida Bulls, the UCF Knights, the FAU Owls, the Florida State Seminoles, the Miami Hurricanes, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Orlando Magic, the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a lot in Florida. There's a lot. I'd love it if some of those amusement parks put their prices down a little bit, but that's not Florida's fault. And there's a lot, man. And there's a lot of people moving down there. There's a lot of people moving down there. So the media is telling you like, oh, Florida's crazy. Everybody hates Florida. But reality is telling people like, if everybody hated Florida, then how come maybe the prices are going up on some stuff because people are moving down there? Like if you saw Florida, Chuck, like I saw Florida over the last couple decades, you would, I mean, like seriously, it was just like you left the airport on that road, not the highway. And it was just like God's green earth and trees. And now it's like condos, apartments, condos, storage unit, stores to put, like factory, condo. It's crazy now. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah. And I understand the point that you're making, Chuck. But, Chuck, the sad thing about politics is it divides us, man. It's sad. Because politicians, like, we need to love each other more. I guess that's my last annoying moment of the week, is we need to learn how to love each other more. Politics makes everybody crazy. I never saw people this crazy. When Clinton and Bush were going up against each other when I was a kid, like, I could feel that. But, like, now, people, if this person wins, I'm going to die. And you're not going to die. I mean, it's just, if this person wins, I'm going to leave. Then leave. Where are you going to go? I love when these celebrities say if somebody wins, they're going to leave. You know what I mean? And whatever side of the coin you're on. I'm going to leave. Okay, go. Psh, bye. You got the money. They're not going anywhere. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? If he wins, I'll leave. Where are you going to go? You going to go to Mexico? You going to go to Europe? Where are you going to go? These people are all BS. They tweet about it. They don't go anywhere. I'm a man of my word. If I told you if this person wins, I'm out. Peace. Then I better get packing, right? There was an election years back where I was like, if this person wins, man, I don't trust it. I was like, I might have to move to Canada. They didn't win, though. So what did Chuck say? The state of... Yeah, okay. I read that already. I go to Florida anytime I can. I have family there. Yeah, man. It's a beautiful state. It's a beautiful state. But again, I tell people all the time, and you've been down there, so you know. But there's people that don't know. There's a lot of uneducated people out there. that just listen. They just listen to whatever somebody tells them, and they don't see for themselves. You got to go see for yourself. I did that. I went down to New Orleans 8 months after Katrina, did Operation Helping Hands. I wanted to see for myself, and it was awful. And then some rich lady from Central New York, they used to sit at our table when we had breakfast. This rich woman, she goes down there, and I hear her talking about me. And she goes, I don't know what Daniel was saying. I don't know what Daniel was saying. It was fine down in New Orleans. I said, you're rich. Where'd you go? Bourbon Street? Probably one of the first things they repaired. You got to get tourism back, right? City losing a lot of money. Get the tourists back. This woman lives in a mansion. I said, where'd you go? You went to mansion? You know, would you go to the mansions, a rich part of town? You stay at a nice, luxurious hotel, go to Bourbon Street? I'm not trying to knock you for your money, honey, but I'm just telling you. Don't tell me I'm lying. Did you go to the 9th Ward? Did you go to the 7th Ward? Did you go and meet the people whose houses were destroyed? Did you go and meet the people who live in a bowl below sea level where they shouldn't even be building housing, but they build housing because they don't necessarily maybe care about those people because it's lower income housing? She went down to New Orleans and she was like, Dan is lying about the state of New Orleans. New Orleans is fine. It was perfect. I don't even know what he said. I didn't even see that there was a hurricane. I didn't see, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, I didn't even see that there was a hurricane there. It was totally fine. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Why would we be down there? The stuff that I saw and the stuff that she saw were different because she didn't go to those places. Educate yourself, right? It's nice to have blinders on, I guess, for some people. But I live in the real world. I've been in places where people are like, you can't go there. Oh my gosh, it's so unsafe. And I'm walking around there at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I know I got God by my side. I know that. But it's like, I've been to places where they're like, hey, this is good, but 15 minutes down there, don't go there. You know, and it's sad when people tell you Washington, D.C. is fine. I talk to people down in Washington, D.C. They're like, no, it's not. So, you know, it's do your research, do your homework, go see stuff, right? And, you know, thinking about this 81 thing, it just seems ridiculous. It seems like everything, like me personally, it seems like the places that I've gone to where there's been traffic before are now going to be more annoying. I'm going to have to leave earlier, which means it's going to take time out of my day, and I don't get that time back, which means you're going to take time out of my life because you decided to do something stupid. So my question always goes back to find the money trail. Who's the money going to, and why did it go there? Did you owe somebody a favor? Like, what's the point? And that's just me speaking. I'm not saying anybody did anything shady. I'm just saying I wonder when stuff doesn't make logical sense, why are we doing it? You know? In politics, if something doesn't make logical sense, it usually trails back to something that I probably would have not agreed with. But, you know, there's people that are all about this getting rid of 81, and I don't get it because I, unlike some people that never leave the city that they're in or the town that they're in, I've been all over this country, and I don't see anybody else tearing down in order to build up. Make it make sense. When they made Destiny USA, they didn't knock down Carousel. They added to it. And makes sense for the highway, too. You don't knock it down, you add to it. Adams Street is a pain in the you-know-what going down. And they need to extend it. They need to make it bigger, better. They need to change that whole traffic pattern because it's too congested for a highway. It's like everyone's coming from this highway. Here's everyone that's on the highway. Here's everyone coming to the highway. And when they merge together, there's 2 lanes, which become 1 lane on the left side. Just fix that. I feel like if you fixed Adams Street, you would fix a lot of problems. But that's just my opinion from a person who's lived here most of my life. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Go and get my Sunday exclusively at Carvel DeWitt. It is the DT Dolphin. It's an ode to the Lemoyne Dolphins that are right down the street. Go and get the DT Dolphin today and any day of the week. On Wednesdays, you get buy one, get one free DT Dolphin. So remember that. Wednesday, you get two for the price of one. And you go and get it any day of the week. Of course, it's available. Wednesdays is buy one, get one. DT Dolphin, mint chocolate chip ice cream, green for the Dolphins, hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, topped off with green and gold sprinkles and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. Only at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. So, with those new traffic patterns, maybe it'll push some of y'all. They talked about Erie Boulevard. They push some of y'all to Erie Boulevard. You go to the end of Erie Boulevard, right there, Carvel DeWitt. So good. Go and get yours today. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. And when we come back, we'll have Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. You're watching and listening to Wake Up Call around the world from the Heritage Hill Studios. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are here inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, Heritage Hill, located for you on 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey, New York, out at the brew house in the country. They're also located for you in the hustle and bustle of the city life, and they're right by Liverpool as well as Cicero. Of course, they're in North Syracuse, by Mattydale, by Clay, Baldwinsville, so on and so forth. Literally just a great, great hub that's by so many cool areas, and that is Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York. We're going to be there tonight. We're there every month with CNS. It's the only place that we do our CNS North Stars broadcast from live on site, and we will be there tonight with Pete Moore, who's a longtime trainer of student athletes and helping young men and women on and off the fields and courts and tracks of life. So the student athletes are going to be joining me that he trains. A bunch of them that he trains from CNS are going to be with me tonight. Pete's going to be with me tonight. The families are going to be with me tonight. We're going to make this a huge community event. Come out and see us and hang out at Heritage Hill North, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, right at Sweetheart Corners tonight, August 16th at 6 p.m. is when the show starts, right around dinner time. So come, grab some dinner, watch a show, have a great Friday night in the community, supporting each other. We'll see you there. With that being said, we're going to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. You know it's the acronym here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. And today's topic, real recognizes real. Seems simple enough. But they say it, real recognize real. When you're an honest person, people that are honest will gravitate toward you. People that lie will distance themselves from you. When you're somebody that believes in doing things with building relationships, let's say, and other people just want a story versus relationship, it's something that I talked to Mike Hopkins about years ago. He said, everybody wants to be a broadcaster these days. Everybody thinks they're a broadcaster these days. He said, what separates you? You got to find your thing. Like, I don't really have a thing. I just am who I am. I said, you know what? I know what it is. And we were sitting at a basketball camp in August in the Dome, and we were sitting underneath a basket. And I said, right by the basket, and I said, I know what it is, Mike. And he goes, go ahead. I said, Mike, I care about relationships over stories. I said, I don't talk to people like yourself just to get the story. I said, there's people that talk to people to get a story, and they're willing to do whatever they need to do to put that story out, screw people over, lie, cheat, steal, but get that story and hope that it makes them famous, and they burn that bridge, but they're hoping, hey, I get that story, I burn that bridge, but if it catapults me to more money and a better job, then who cares if I burn the relationship? I said, there's those people, and then there's somebody like me that wants to be able to talk to you today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now because I built a relationship with you where I'm honest and I'm respectful and I'm trustworthy and I can keep coming back and forth on this bridge. And he slapped me like a friendly thing. Not like I was like, Mike slapped me. No, like he hit my chest and he goes, that's what it is. That's what makes you different. And real recognize real. My ex-wife told me a long time ago, and I know, I talk about stuff. I talk about relationships on the show. I talk about relationships on our other show, Two Mics, No Filter, under Dan Tortora Broadcast Media with my awesome co-host, Andrea Smith. And we got a new episode coming out this week, so make sure you check it. It's going to be shared on our social media at Two Mics, No Filter. That's at TWO spelled out MICS. No Filter, all together, at Two Mics, No Filter. On YouTube, it's at Two Mics, No Filter. You can look up Two Mics, No Filter on your favorite podcasting platform. We're on a bunch of those, and we're on social media. So check it out, and find the new show this week. But I talk about relationships with Andrea all the time. And, people that have listened to the show know that I was married before. And it's funny because I'm a private person, so I think about it now. I'm like, why did I even tell people I was married? But, it's part of your life. You're living in the moment. And there was a time in my life where I thought this was it. This person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. So I talk about her on air and this and that. And I've talked about things that were not great. And I've talked about things that, were good. And, I'm going to say something that's good today is, she helped me realize some things about life. So wherever she is, I want to thank her for some of the advice she gave me, because as much as our relationship was not great, and as much as there were things that I was like, yeah, I can't be in this relationship, I can also credit my ex-wife with giving me some of the best advice I've ever gotten in my life. And they say you're supposed to take something good out of every situation, good, bad, or indifferent. And I hope wherever she is, she's happy. I really do, because I don't wish bad on anybody. I tell jokes and I talk about things and we laugh and whatnot, but I never want to see that woman hurt a day in her life. Not ever. And because if you wish bad on somebody, then you're the villain now. So she said something to me a long time ago. She said, when you're at a media thing, right? And let's say the football team. I called her up one day. I said, all these media people are hanging out with each other. They're all in their little posses. I walk in and it's like I'm not even there. And she goes, let me ask you a question. When the players walk off the field, do they say hello to you? I said, yeah. She said, do they say hello to anybody else? I was like, maybe one other guy. She said, okay. Of 20 people. Okay. She said, when the coaches come off the field, do they say what's up to you? I said, yeah. She said, do they say what's up to other people in the media? I was like, not really. She said, okay. She said, who would you rather have relationships with? The coaches and the players, or the media? The people that actually have to do with your job directly and the growth of you, or the people that are competing against you? Who would you rather be friends with? And that hit me some kind of way. And she was right. See, since I was a little kid, want to be friends with everybody because I'm nice to everybody, And if I don't appreciate the way that you treat me or the way that you treat people, I just go silent. I'm not going to scream in your face and this, that, and whatever. I'm just going to go silent. And when I look at what she said to me that day, real recognize real. That's the thing. That she was saying to me. She's like, the coaches and the players recognize who's real in the media, and they've been there with you. And you should really appreciate that. And that was years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. And it's happening today. It happened yesterday. And I appreciate that. And I feel like when you're a real person, people see that. Because I always wondered that. You know what I mean? Like when you go off and you start your own business, especially in the media, you're going up against companies that have been around for 100 years. They got millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars to spend. They got thousands and thousands. It's like I'm covering recruiting. They're covering recruiting. They got 30,000 workers. I got me. And so you think to yourself, I'm honest and I'm caring and I love people and I work hard and I'm passionate and I believe in God and I love building relationships and I love learning and I'm never going to go back and destroy somebody's trust and I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. And you wonder, do people see that? Because the people in the media treat you like you're not even there. So you're like, do the coaches and the players see it? And then 20 years later, and they do see it. Not 20 years later they see it. I'm saying reflecting back on the time, real will always find real. Even when there's gatekeepers, even when there's blockers, even when there's stupid red tape for no friggin' reason, a coach, a player, or whoever's in your life, people will see that. I tell people all the time, you can't fake goodness. You can't fake goodness. People that don't want to smile, it looks like it pains them to smile, when they try to fake smile. And you can see right through it. And I'm a firm believer that when you're close to God, it helps you figure out people real quick. Because when you have a strong faith and you have a great relationship with God, and it's an everyday thing to you, it's hard to lie to you. Because the closer you are to God, the closer you are to reality. The closer you are to God, the closer you are to what matters. I just feel like the closer you get to God, the simpler life becomes. And people say, well, no, Dan, people suffer that are close to God. People suffered in the Bible that were close to God. What about Job? What about, Saul before he became Paul and this and that? And it's like, what about Jesus Christ? I mean, Jesus is his son and he suffered. I'm not saying we're not going to suffer. Honestly, I think if you follow God, you do suffer. But you also live a different life. You live on a different plane. You just, because you're not looking at wins and losses and money and this and that. You want to make money and you want to win games and you want to, but I didn't get into business to make the millions and the millions and the millions of dollars. That's not why I'm here. I'm going to make money. I have, and I'll continue to, because God is great all the time. And all the time God is great. I know that I'll be there. I tell people all the time, it's not going to, if I'm going to make $1 million, I'm going to make $1 million. If I'm going to make this movie, I'm going to make this movie. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's not about that. To me, it's about being that person that if I was a kid on a playground, would I hang out with Fran Brown? Yes. Why? Because he's real. Because he cares about stuff that I care about. I've been banging the drum like crazy, recruit locally. And coaches were like, no. Involve the alumni, and coaches didn't do it. And this man steps in and he says things in his introductory press conference that got me emotional when I talked to my mom. I said, I feel like I finally found my coach. Not that I'm not close to Shafe, not that I'm not close to Dino, not that I couldn't go and talk to Doug Marone. I have relationships with all of them. But when I heard Fran Brown speak about the things that I cared about without being provoked by me to say those things in order to make me feel good, right? Because some people say things knowing that you love them. They say, these are the things that I know that Dan likes, so I'm going to say it and not really mean it, but I'm going to say it because I'm going to get his attention and I'm going to get him to vote for me, to be there for me, to support me because I know what he likes. He didn't know what I liked when he said those things. And I got emotional. I called my mom. I got emotional. She can vouch for that. I said, I think I finally found my guy. I think I finally found my coach that's he gets me without me going, he gets me on his own. And when you find like-minded people, real recognize real. So I go, okay, he says he wants to recruit locally. So then what does he do? He offers locally and he gets commits. He says he wants to involve the alumni. I talk to alumni all the time, all throughout the year. What do the alumni tell me? God, we feel better. We feel loved again. Man, this is great. I'm excited. I can't wait to come to a game. So real recognize real. That's just what it is. I tell people all the time, you can't hide if you care or if you pretend to care. You can't hide if you love or you pretend to love. You can't hide if you're honest or if you're honest for the cameras. You can't hide that stuff. People say, yes, you can. No, you can't. You can't hide that stuff. That stuff always leaks. It always does. People don't have to worry about who they are. When you're a good person and you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and you care, you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, what did I say today? What did I do today? Da 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 da. Are you going to be perfect? No. There's times where I'm on the show and I'm like, man, I don't have to say that. I don't have to go that hard into this. I could have done that differently. I think about that stuff. But real recognizes real. And I just want you to know that wherever state of life you think you're in, if you feel like you're at the bottom of the totem pole in your family, bottom in the totem pole at your job, bottom in the totem pole in media, bottom in the totem pole as a coach, bottom in the totem pole on the depth chart, I just want you to know that if you are an honest, hardworking, good person, faith-filled person, I feel like believing in God isn't going to hurt. I know people are like, Dan, I believe. Dan, I don't believe. Okay. And y'all are welcome to my show because God doesn't kick out any of his kids, so how the heck can I? I'm just saying, in my world, my ingredients to success that we talk about every Tuesday, my ingredients, faith in God is one. A relationship with God is one. I'm not saying religion. I'm saying a relationship with God. A relationship with God. That is one. Religion helped me get there. Religion helped me with a lot of things, but faith in God. I don't think that, see, to me, my relationship with God is not 1 hour a week at church. I do go to church, but that is not my relationship with God. My relationship with God is I'll see you on Sunday morning, and I'll see you every other day, and I'll see you every minute of that day, And every second of that day and every millisecond of that day. And when I'm right, I'll see you. When I'm wrong, I'll see you. When I'm crying, when I'm mad, when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm elated, when I'm joyful, when I'm peaceful, when I'm chaotic, I will see you. And I feel like when you have a close relationship with God and you put God first and you care about people, you can't go wrong. You might feel like people don't care. You might feel like doors are closing. You might feel like things are happening to you that you don't deserve. I'm dealing with that right now. There's a situation that I'm dealing with right now where I feel like somebody's treating me some kind of way, and I didn't do anything to deserve that. They had an opinion. I responded with facts. I got no answer. That sucks. But at the end of the day, my mom said something to me that was really special. My mom said to me, son, you didn't do anything wrong. You did everything you could. These people don't want to help you. These people, not even about help me. It's like these people don't want to give you something that you've had for a long, long time. They don't want to give it to you. And no matter what you do, they don't want to give it to you. And at the end of the day, if they're in control and they don't want to give it to you, all the facts and the kindness and the goodness and everything that you've done to be a professional, they don't care. And you have to look at this situation and say, if this is not happening and you're not doing anything to lose this, you have to understand that as much as that's a human being's decision, the bigger picture could be that God is sending you somewhere else. He wants you somewhere else. You got to believe that when something doesn't work out, it's because God is moving you in another direction. So, to me, it's real, recognize real. Why do you want to be around that? Yeah, I've loved this one thing. I've loved doing it for so many years. But these people that are blocking me now, do I really want to work with an organization that hires people like that? Do I really want to be around those people that try to make you feel uncomfortable and feel unsettled? People that don't respect you, don't respect your time, don't respect your job, don't respect the way you go about what you do. Do I really want to promote a product that hires snakes in the grass? Or would I rather spend more time or time at all with the people that have been really, really good to me? So as much as it's difficult to say, like, I want to do this thing, real recognizes real. And the place that I'm getting frustrated with and getting annoyed with, they're not real. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. Logic, rationale, kindness, none of that matters to them. Hard work, track record, none of that matters to them. Why would you want to be around people that don't value seemingly most of the things that you value? So that could be God saying, I want you somewhere else. I need you somewhere else. And in the midst of these people acting like they don't care, another thing that I do, there's a person going out of their way to show me that he cares. Real recognizes real. So what I want you to do today, and what I promise you I'm going to do today, is I want us to focus on the good things in life. And when there's negativity and there's things that aren't going our way and there's people not doing what we hoped that they would do and there's people making things difficult, I want you to choose to focus on the good. I want you to choose to focus on the people that are there for you. Because God, once again, for the 2 millionth time in my life, gave me a great situation and a not ideal situation happening at the same time. And I think it's to see which one I'm focusing on. So God, I'm sorry for focusing on the wrong one. Real recognizes real. I'm going to focus on the real one. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Go and visit them today. 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, New York. There's Chick-fil-A's and there's Chick-fil-A Cicero. And anything that Jim Rusakowski and his family put their hands on, it's just different. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A Cicero goes beyond what I get from a typical Chick-fil-A. So for those of you that love Chick-fil-A and love that they talk about faith and love their positive guest service and the way that they treat people and love their food and think it's, a step above when you're going out and getting fast food and this, that, and whatever. For all of you that have that love and support and appreciation for Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A Cicero going to make you fall in love a little bit more. Again, real recognizes real, and Jimmer's a real one. We'll be back after this fast break inside of the Heritage Hill Studios.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. It's time for the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week coming to you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by the awesome team at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. They are the place to bring your dog. And for short-term care, you head right off to Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, and you can get to them very easily, folks. They're right, just a few minutes from Erie Boulevard, right off of, they're right across the street from BJ's Wholesale Club on Bridge Street. So if you're coming from Erie, you go on to Bridge Street, you see BJ's on your right, and you take a left, and as you're going up the hill, you make that first left. It's right there. You can actually see it from the highway, Canine Camp Dog Daycare. You'll see it. It'll say Canine Camp right there for you. So they have the opportunity to help you with short-term care at the Canine Camp Dog Daycare, and you can get in touch with them by calling 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110, and you can also get information on them by going to K-9KAMP.com. That's K-9KAMP.com. And of course, for Canine Campground Dog Boarding, with each dog having their own cabin for longer term care, you can get in touch with them by calling 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. So make sure you get in touch with them today. 315-299-4013 for Canine Campground Dog Boarding for longer term care for your dog. And your dog will be able to stay in their own cabin. That's where their food's going to be. So definitely call them for that. You can get more information by going to KAMPground.com. That's KAMPground.com. And I appreciate them so very much for all the work that they do and for taking care of our dogs. And they do a great job with Miss Lillian, so make sure you bring your dog out there today. You know I don't tell you to go somewhere unless I use that product or service myself or if I eat at that place. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to care about it. I don't talk about it unless what do they say? Don't talk about it, be about it. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to be about it. And make sure you head off to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Camp Ground Dog Boarding today, both in East Syracuse. With that being said, my top dog of the week this week, I got a bunch of them. My top dogs of the week are the Sports Card and Trading Card Community of Central and Upstate New York. You're my top dogs of the week, and I want to talk about y'all. So I'm going to give a shout out here. We went to GG Cards and Breaks Trade Night at GG Cards and Breaks last night on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. And my buddy Matt's here. Matty, I want to give you a shout out. Matty always has Syracuse cards. So he came up to me and said, any ones you like? And then he went through my dollar bin, picked out 2 cards for himself, gave me these 2 cards. This is a prospect ticket of Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony spent 1 season at Syracuse. It was a national championship season. So I love Carmelo Anthony cards, especially Syracuse, and I love the Panini Contenders cards that look like a game ticket. And then Kadri Ismail here with me. Kadri Ismail is going to be on the broadcast. We have a special that Kadri and I have for you, so I figured getting another card of him isn't going to hurt. So thank you to Matt for those. And then I want to shout out Red Red and I got to talk a lot yesterday. We were set up across from each other, and I've never done a deal with Red before, and I did a deal last night. Julian Struther. Julian, why did I get this rated rookie? Well, number one, it's a cool-looking laser card, and number two, Julian played for one of the teams that I love to cover and watch, and that's Gonzaga. Also from Julian, I got a rookie ticket, rookie card, green color match, jersey patch of Ahmad Sauce Gardner for all you Jets fans out there, including Ross and Joe and Murphalation for the Nation. Got this rookie card, awesome card here. Rookie, green parallel, color match, Ahmad Sauce Gardner patch of his jersey. Green on green on green on green on green. So you got the Jets green, the green parallel with the green patch and color matching to the team itself. Got that from Red. Also got a jersey patch from Red from Allen and Ginter. You know, I just opened an Allen and Ginter from GG Cards or Breaks. You can go back and watch that video on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, and it will be added to YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. And when you're on YouTube and you click subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll also find on our YouTube channel that we have a card breaks playlist, so you can go back and watch all of our breaks. Lords Gary L. Jr. Plays for my Diamondbacks. So this is when he was on the Blue Jays, but I wanted a patch of Lords Gurriel, so I got one. And I got a rookie card, Great Expectations, of Grady Dick from the Toronto Raptors, because I love my Raptors. So these were all meaningful. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Josh Gideon, the owner of GG Cards and Breaks. He made a deal with Bobby and then gave this, he made a deal with Curtis and Bobby. And when he made the deal with Curtis, it was for, it included this Jerome Ford. Now, Jerome Ford played for the Cincinnati Bearcats, and this is a blue parallel, 39 out of 49 in the world, wild card auto of Jerome Ford. I was going to get this card from Curtis, and Josh got it in the deal, and he just handed it to me. He goes, here, put it in your collection. And Josh is awesome. Always is. Always will be. So I appreciate you, brother. Is right now. These don't pay attention to the price here because this is not the price I paid. But at GG Cards and Breaks, I love my Caitlin Clark collection. And I didn't even realize that they have a bunch of Caitlin Clark cards that are now available for you to purchase, and they're like by themselves. So when you walk into GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, when you walk in and like that first display case all the way to the left, they're right on top of that. And I was going through them after trade night last night, and I'm probably going to get more, but these are the ones I picked out. So Caitlin Clark Select, and then 2 Fearless, because I just love colorful things. So Fearless here, rainbow colored Caitlin Clark cards. They're just all really nice. And some of these, you know, like I always try to get cards that are in really good shape too. And I might send them for grading and keep them just because I love Caitlin Clark and the collection continues to grow. I want to give a shout out here too, as my top dogs of the week are the Central New York and Upstate New York Trading Card Community. So giving a shout out to you all. I want to give a shout out to Tony as well, Tony Pascarella, for these 2 cards. I already have this card. I bought this card from GG Cards and Breaks from Anthony, but I wanted to get another one of it because, again, I send my cards off to get graded. So I might send this off to get graded. I did well last time, and a man can have high hopes. I had 2 CJ Stroud sideways. I had 2 CJ Stroud horizontal cards, sent them both to get graded. They were the exact same card. Got a 10 out of 10 on both. Put one in a trade and sold another one. Well, I picked up this one yesterday. I already have this card, but I wanted to get another one of it. And I got this rated rookie of CJ Stroud. So, and these are the prices that were just on there. But CJ Stroud rated rookie here. Brought that in as well. And I sold CJ Stroud. And it's kind of become this, I mean, I've realized it as of last night, but it's become this thing with me. And it started, I think, back at the last Fishtown card show, ironically, because we're going to bookend it and go to the Fishtown card show this weekend in Philadelphia. So if you're out in the Philly area, come and see us, or if you want to travel out there, we're going to be at Rivers Casino this Sunday starting at 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning till 4. We're going to be at Rivers Casino for the Fishtown Card Show in Philadelphia. When I say we, Brendan Murphy and myself of DT and Murphy that you see every Monday here on the broadcast. This is our third Fishtown Card Show. I've had a fantastic time the other 2 times. I cannot wait to go again. I'm very much looking forward to it. And what I realized there was I sold CJ Stroud's. I sold my gradeds, and then at the end of the show, a kid came up to me with a graded 10 out of 10 Stroud for like $45 or something like that, and I bought it. And I actually sold that last night to Alex of GG Cards and Breaks. And so I've realized that whenever I sell Stroud, I try to replenish. And so I'm continuing to do that with those cards. I want to give, and speaking of that, again, when we take a look at this, so Curtis Tillman III, he knows I love him. How you doing, brother? Hope you're watching and listening. He always has really cool Jaguars cards. I don't know how he finds these, but this is a Jalen Kamp cracked ice rookie card, and it's purple here. And not only does he have good Jaguar, I mean, the cards that he has, they're typically numbered. They're usually really awesome colored and a ton of autos. He gave me a bunch of Cisco stuff. So this is numbered to 225 in the world. Jalen Kamp rookie card, cracked ice, purple, that I got from Curtis. And I also got this, the green prism that I love these. I have the Tank Bigsby. This is a green rookie card prism of Tyson Campbell, and this one is numbered to 175 in the world. And replenishing my Stroud, I got his one-touch case here. I love the magnetic cases. They're so cool. When I'm collecting cards and I'm looking at a card, if it's got a magnetic case, I'm like bonus. So I pulled off this CJ Stroud Mosaic rookie card. Brought this one in, the blue here, refractor. So I got this from Curtis. Shout out to Curtis. And I did a deal with Bobby, my first ever deal with Bobby, for a case hit. It's not a rookie card. It's from last year, right? It's from 2023. But it's a case hit Trevor Lawrence. And Bobby gave me an awesome deal on this based on comps and everything that I was seeing and what I was looking to pay. He did an even better deal. So I got a case hit Trevor Lawrence and a one-touch here. Again, not the rookie card, but a case hit card and crown jewels. I've never seen one. And Josh was doing a deal with them, and Josh said something about the card, and I went and did a deal with him. So, again, I want to shout out Bobby. I want to shout out Josh Gideon and GG Cards and Breaks, Alex, Anthony, and the crew. Shout out Alex for us doing our first deal together. Shout out to Red and I for doing our first deal together. Shout out to Tony and I for doing our first deal together. And shout out for Curtis continuing to just come through and be awesome. So much respect, much love. Got a ton of CJ Stroud stuff. Like it. Got some rookies and had a great time. You're my top dogs of the week. This is what we call a mashup or a team up. When I talk about Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding with the top dog of the week, with the mashup of another wonderful partner we have in GG Cards and Breaks, announcing the Central and Upstate New York fam in the sports card and trading card worlds as my top dogs of the week, and bonding that to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. I love bringing businesses together. I love bringing people together, and Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding makes it a wonderful place, a home away from home for our dogs, and gives us peace of mind. And another home away from home for me is GG Cards and Breaks. And I love trade night every month, and I love going to GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. So that is my team up of the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding for the top dog of the week, honoring the wonderful Central and Upstate New York sports and trading card community, which I'm shouting out from GG Cards and Breaks Trade Night, and I send you all my love. We'll be back after this fast break with our special thank you for your patience. Coming up, we do our continuation of what's called DT on the CFP, my coverage of the college football playoff. in the year of its expansion continues with Peach Bowl Inc. CEO and President Gary Stokan joining me right after this to speak on the Aflac Kickoff game, its history, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, its history, service to the community, faith in God, and so much more. Coming up from the Heritage Hill Studios right after this. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. Dan Tortora here with you on site on location in this edition of Wake Up Call. We are here at the ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, North Carolina in our Heritage Hill Travel Studios, and I'm here with Gary Stokan of Peach Bowl Inc. and the leader of it, the president and CEO, and I can't thank you enough for all the work that you've done over the years, and it's always going to be with you.
Great to be with you, brother.
So,
how's the year going so far?
The year's going well. Interesting travel between Dallas and Charlotte and the AAC kickoff now, and the ACC kickoff, but as God works in wonderful, purposeful ways, to the people on the outside looking in, coverage didn't miss a beat. So just a little bit less sleep, but coverage was the same, so God's been good. How about you?
That's a great time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're ready to kick this thing off.
How have you been? Because, I mean, in the world that you live in, with the Aflac kickoff game, with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and everything that's going on, it seems like you are racking up the flyer mile, the frequent flyer miles for sure.
Well, we've been to SEC Media Days like you. We've been to Big Ten Media Days yesterday and the day before, and then back up here. We were here Monday, and now we're back here on Thursday. So we know when this hits, and when I do an interview with you, it's college football season.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to kicking it off with Georgia and Clemson, 2 top 10 teams in the Aflac kickoff game.
Yeah, and looking at that, the partnerships that you've made over time, and just being, not only having these partnerships, but everything that you and I talk about is being very purposeful. So with the branding of the kickoff game with Aflac now, what can you say about Aflac and that partnership?
Yeah, it's a great story, number one. We had gone to New York to ring the college football season in at the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
And after we rang the bell, we came down the steps, and one of the companies that's on the New York Stock Exchange is Aflac. And New York Stock Exchange is owned by ICE, which is headquartered in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so the people at ICE introduced me to Virgil Miller, who's the president of Aflac. And it's like Michael Jordan said, you only miss the shots you don't take.
I know.
Chick-fil-A said, hey, we want to stay with you on the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl title sponsorship, but we'd like to, if you can find somebody else for the kickoff game, that'd be great. If you can't, we'll stay with you. And so I mentioned to Virgil, I said, Virgil, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. You've given $167 million to create the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center at Children's Healthcare in Atlanta. We, Peach Bowl Inc., has donated $22 million to the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center to create trials and find cures to eradicate childhood cancer. We now have 14 trials started in 5 different hospitals in 4 different states. And our goal is to get at least one of those to the goal line and in the end zone with FDA approval to change a kid's life for a year, a lifetime maybe, give him his life back. So we both have a common goal in helping find cures and eradicate childhood cancer, and so This game is called Kickoff for a Cause, and we'll raise another $300,000 through using college football for the greater good to hopefully find a cure for childhood cancer.
And like I said, I mean, everything that you do, there's something behind it, and there's something behind the behind. And look, you know, when it comes to childhood cancer, I mean, cancer of any kind is a lot of adversity, tremendous front to look upon, and then to put your helmet on and go to battle. For children, for anybody of any age, it's a horrible thing. For a child, it's the beginning of their life. So why at Peach Bowl Inc. did you find it so important and to directionally focus on childhood cancer? Why that?
Yeah, well, first off, we were founded in 1968 as the first bowl game for charity to give back. And we give economic impact back like all the other bowls do, but we had a special mission to give to charity. And so, you know, we've given $63 million since 2002, which makes us by far the most charitable bowl organization in the country out of 44 bowl games. Why Aflac and Cancer Center is Benji Hollis, who was our Vice President of Sales. His 6-year-old daughter contracted in the springtime in 2019 leukemia. And she went through 6 months of radiation and chemo, and she was getting ready to have a bone marrow transplant. And her little heart gave out and she died, 6 years old. And so we were going to give money to the Aflac Cancer Center to Children's Healthcare anyway, but we doubled it and gave $20 million originally to fund these cures and trials. And, you know, this is 26 years of doing this for me, and the people ask me, well, what's your favorite moment? My favorite moment is when I put Benji Hollis and his wife Leanna and their little daughter Everly at 3 years old in the middle of the field before our Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Florida and Michigan in 2019. And I wanted to celebrate Anna Charles' life, which was his daughter that died at 6 years old. And so I took Neil Diamond's song, Sweet Caroline, and input Sweet Anna Charles, and put it on the halo board at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and had the PA announcer announce that we were all going to stand up and we're all going to sing Sweet Anna Charles. And so we had all the Florida and Michigan people and everybody in the crowd. It was a sold-out event, swinging and swaying and crying, singing Sweet Anna Charles. And that's my favorite moment over 26 years of doing this, and giving $22 million now to find these cures and trials. It's been a labor of love, and humbly, you know, we've met our mission of being the most charitable bowl organization by giving back by using college football for the greater good.
Do you feel like we're getting close to something breaking for childhood cancer?
You know, our one leukemia drug has passed through testing it successfully in animals, because the toxicity level, you have to start there. It's tested well in adults. They're testing it now in one of those phases that I talked about earlier with kids 12 to 18 right now. So hopefully that goes well. And if that goes well, then the opportunity may present itself to test it in younger kids. And if that goes well, then possibly, you know, in a year or two, we could go to FDA possibly.
Well, anything that we could talk about, like you said, when we sit down together, it's college football season, but we always end up talking about things far, far beyond that. And for you and I met years and years ago. And we met in Greensboro.
The old Grand Over.
And I remember sitting with you in the back of the room with my travel recorder, just sitting in 2 chairs. And then we look at now sitting here today on screen together. Because to me it's like life just kind of flashes, and you remember the people. And to me it's all about relationships. And in the world of collegiate athletics, you know, you hear about NIL, you hear about transfer portal, you hear about realignment. And in businesses, you know, why would you go to the internet? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why would you leave this company that's been around for however many years? And I tell people all the time that the one thing that I know that you can do is you can choose to believe in God. You can choose to have morals and values. You can choose to value relationships. And you can choose to be honest and to be consistently good, not occasionally great, and to show up. And I believe that no matter how much this world has these outside influences, if you base yourself in faith in relationships, being honest and being proud of who you are and courageous enough to share that with people, I think you can be successful. I know you can. And I felt the same way when we first sat down, but I told you this back then at a time that I really needed to hear it, and I'll tell you this again now. You inspire me all the time because it makes me feel like I'm not doing things by myself when you hit a wall going, how do you hit a wall trying to do the right thing? So I do want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to Matt Garvey. I want to thank Peach Bowl Inc. because you're not just people that are talented, you're people that actually care about people.
Well,
and I don't think that gets said enough.
Well, that's important. I mean, my philosophy of life is God's gift to you is life.
Yeah.
Your present to him is using his God-given talents that he's blessed you with and maximizing those. And so every day, how do we continually improve? How do we give back? My mom ingrained in me that, Acts 10:29, we're blessed to give than receive. You get more out of giving to people than when you receive something.
Yeah.
And so anytime I can use my talents to give to college football, create the kickoff game, which has raised millions of dollars for kids in childhood cancer, or to find a way to bring the College Football Hall of Fame to Atlanta and make the College Football Hall of Fame more prevalent to fans of college football. That's meeting the mission of giving back and using God's talents, because I'll never have enough money like Arthur Blank, who does wonderful things in the city of Atlanta, to give back.
Yeah.
Right? I'll never have that kind of money, but if I can use God's talents to find a way to create events like the kickoff game, or to take the Peach Bowl to this level, or our Southern Company Peach Bowl golf tournament, where we give $300,000 away each year to foundations and charities of the coaches, then I've met the mission.
And when you look at this, there's so many things to talk about here. When we look at some of the history, after the Aflac kickoff game, teams have had national rankings of number 1 3 times, number 2 twice, number 3 twice, number 4, number 5 twice, number 6 twice, number 7, number 9 twice, number 11, number 14 twice, number 16, 18 3 times, ranked number 19, 22, 24 twice, and 25 4 times. These are games of nationally ranked, nationally reputable institutions, and this season is no slouch. On Saturday, August 31st, on the last day of August, we're going to see this little old Clemson Tigers team and this little old Georgia Bulldog team, and two teams that have hoisted the College Football Playoff National Championship are going to be in the Aflac kickoff game.
Yeah, 4 out of the 8 last national championships were won by these two teams. And when you talk about there's only 3 coaches that have won national championships that are still active, 3 of them are in this league. Mac Brown, Dabo Sweeney, and Kirby Smart. So we've got great coaches, great people. Just to give you an example about giving back, both Dabo and Kirby brought kids from Prisma Hospital in Greenville, South Carolina, and Children's Healthcare Hospital in Atlanta, and went to visit them, took their players to visit them, all to support this game. And Aflac donated $20,000 back to both those hospitals in the name of Dabo and Kathleen Sweeney and Mary Beth and Kirby Smart for them doing that. So that's how some of the money we're raising goes back to Kickoff for a cause. And then we'll do our 50-50 raffle. That money will go back to the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center through the Peach Bowl Legacy Fund. And then we'll also have our Peach Bowl Touchdown for Children's, where people can donate, no matter what team it is. They can donate $1, $5, $10, $100, $1,000 to each time their team scores. And we, Peach Bowl Inc., will match that. And last year we raised $730,000 through that program. So, using college football for the greater good, with great partners like Georgia and Clemson, like Dabo Sweeney and Kirby Smart.
And we look at these teams that you've had: Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, Boise State, Louisville, Duke, Florida State, Miami, NC State, Oregon, Washington, West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, sea to shining sea, north to south. This is an incredible list.
But you forgot to mention your Orangeman next year.
And I will, because that's a future one here. But when we're looking at records by here, when you look at the caliber and then you look at what's coming up next, which you just preluded here for me, 2025, there's going to be 2 games. To the Aflac Kickoff, we're going to have a doubleheader, and that being that one game will be Virginia Tech, South Carolina, and one is going to be Tennessee, Syracuse. So we're going to see these ACC, SEC matchups here, and just your thoughts on the history of the teams that you've had, as well as what's to come, because we talked about this year Clemson, Georgia, but then Virginia Tech, South Carolina next year, Tennessee, Syracuse, and shameless plug, I guess. I'm very thankful that you thought of my hometown. So thank you for that.
Well, we're really looking forward to Syracuse. You talked about relationships earlier. Now, that's how you do business. And John Wildhack's a really good personal friend. And when he got the job at Syracuse, we talked occasionally, and he said, "Hey, anytime you have an opportunity, we'd be interested in coming down and playing." And so it worked out where Tennessee had an opening, Syracuse had an opening, and so we're gonna have a lot of orange in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2025. But we're really looking forward to hosting Syracuse down there.
For you, when you're looking at who to bring in and these matchups that you want, we talked about these nationally ranked teams and the high caliber of coach. What goes into that? Like when you said, Tennessee had an open opportunity, Syracuse had an open opportunity, but you don't just take anyone, and there's over 130 FBS schools in Division I football. So how do you determine what makes sense in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia? Because it's been such a beacon of football, and it's such a blessing to have in your backyard for Peach Bowl Inc. But you also want to make sure that the fan bases want to go there and that they consider this a game so that they pack the area. So what goes into kind of the criteria of who you want to have?
Yeah, it starts with relationships, number one. But B, you look at contracts of coaches. You look at the recruiting that they're doing, and how much success they're having. You look at the opportunities. Do they have openings in the first week of the year for college football? Do they want to play this school? Do they not want to play that school? So a lot of conversations that you have back and forth, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we've been very, very blessed to have ACC, SEC matchups work for us in the Chick-fil-A Kickoff game and now Aflac Kickoff game to be successful.
And then we look at, so we go from the beginning of the season with the Aflac Kickoff game, then we switch gears to the college football playoff, which is unique now in the expansion to 12 from 4. The beautiful thing about this is who we know is the New Year's Six, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl being included. We look at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl game, as well as the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, and the Capital One Orange Bowl. There was this rotation when the college football playoff was 4, that the New Year's Six, 4 would be out, 2 would be the semis,
right,
and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl a part of that rotation. But now with the expansion to 12, we have the first round where the top 4 teams have a bye, and 5 through 12 play. So they're going to play at the home of the highest seed or at the designated place that the highest seed chooses. After that, in the quarters, we have 4 of these New Year's Six, and then in the semis, we have the other 2 of the New Year's Six. So in rotation now, the New Year's Six bowl games are not rotating in and out of the college football playoff. They're always in. So the road to the champion always goes through these 6, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl included. What does that mean to you in the grand scheme of things, to know that no matter who the champion's going to be from here to whenever, that the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is a part of the journey of determining every year's champion?
Well, we're very blessed to have the opportunity through the CFB relationship we have to host this year quarterfinals, as you mentioned. We'll also host the national championship game at the end of the year.
Yeah.
This year, the first city to host the CFP National Championship twice, and then next year we'll host the semifinal in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So, within a year we're basically going to host the quarter, the national championship, and the semifinals. This year alone, to have 4 games in Atlanta with all top 10 teams, the Chick-fil-A, or the Aflac Kickoff game, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl quarterfinal, the SEC championship game, and the national championship game. It's quite a run, and then to follow that up with the 2 Aflac Kickoff games you mentioned, the national semifinal. It's a great 2 years for college football in Atlanta.
You know, like you said, you get to host the national championship game at the end of this season, 2024-25, and the first to be able to do it twice now. And just for that side of it too, that we talk about the New Year's Six and being in the quarters, being in the semis, but also Atlanta, Georgia being such an easy place to get to, a vibrant city, or ever-growing, ever-evolving city, but, you know, a lot of direct flights, which I paid attention to, and coming from Syracuse to know that we don't have direct flights everywhere, we definitely have them to Atlanta. So for you to have the national champion in this expanded playoff to 12, you're going to be a part of that history. The expansion from 4 to 12 only happens once. The national championship game in this expansion, in this first year of it, only happens once, and it's right there in Atlanta. So yet another moment that we get to celebrate with you and your team.
Well, it's going to be particularly beneficial to us because with 2 years left on the existing 12-year contract, and still contracts that exist between bowls and conferences, it looks like with the Sugar Bowl having the SEC and Big 12 contract, that whoever's ranked highest of the champions of those 2 leagues will play in the Sugar Bowl. The Rose Bowl, because its relationship still exists for 2 years with the Big Ten, since there's not a Pac-12, the Big Ten champ, which is in the top 4 rankings, will go to the Rose Bowl. And so the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl will have a chance possibly to host the ACC champ, which, you know, obviously ACC and SEC work so well for us because the predominance of alumni that live in Metro Atlanta, as well as the easy travel you mentioned to get to Atlanta because of our Delta Airlines and the most effective and efficient airport with a lot of hourly flights, or daily flights I should say, into Atlanta. And then the interstates, 3 interstates intersect in the middle of downtown, easy travel for a lot of people. We're just geographically built, and with the partnerships we have with the best staff in the bowl business, with great volunteers that really enjoy providing Southern hospitality, and then the corporate support that we get from like Aflac and Chick-fil-A and Delta and other corporate sponsors. All those ingredients put together, you know, provide us the opportunity to be the capital of college football.
Before, and obviously, like you said, having the Hall of Fame there, the Capital of College
Having the Hall of Fame, right.
So before we jump into a rapid fire where you and I get to put each other on the hot seat here for a second, with the New Year's Six as a whole, with the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, obviously your Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl Classic, do you, that interaction amongst the leadership of these 6 bowl games that are now in the college football playoff, what is that like? Is there kind of a powwow committee, dinners, yearly things that you try to do together to, obviously you're running your own ships and you're doing your own thing, but because you're all working in unison with the college football playoff, is there camaraderie and some type of yearly connection or system that you try to work through together to at least all be on the same page?
Yeah, most definitely. We saw it recently, I guess recently you can say, during COVID, we all got together with CFB and the 6 New Year's 6 bowl games to walk through every facet of how we were going to deal with COVID, with the fans, the media, the teams, etc. We've seen that same more than the other years this year because we're getting ready to change to a playoff system.
Yeah.
And so we've had numerous meetings, almost monthly for a while there, to talk about how we're going to handle the playoff system. And you know, led by CFB, who's you know, done a heck of a job of making sure this playoff's going to work because they've got to go and they actually help put on the events in those first games that are on campus. And then the bowls basically take over with the quarters and the semis. Then CFP comes back and runs the national championship game. So great coordination between all of us. We're all in this business to for the good of college football, to make sure fans and media and the teams have a great experience. So that's the challenge this year, and I think every one of us are up to it.
So let's jump in rapid fire. You get to put me on the hot seat. We'll go back and forth for a couple. What do you have for me, Gary?
Favorite Syracuse basketball player?
Oh, without question, so easy for me, John Wallace. And the craziest thing in the world is I started watching him, liking him when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and now we're friends. We text, we talk. He's been on the show a bunch. We've golfed together, and when they tell you you can't, you can. And with faith in God, hard work, dedication, determination, and the building of relationships, your world gets really small, and you would be absolutely amazed, as I continue to be every day, at like your idols and the people that you look up to end up becoming friends.
That's cool.
And to be able to call up John Wallace and just talk about life is just, the 9-year-old would have passed out.
That's cool.
That version of me would have passed out. So, but yeah, I'm really happy for John too. Getting his jersey retired was long overdue, and he's earned it.
Cool.
My question back to you, Gary. This is a deep one, but we're here at the ACC Kickoff. Can collegiate athletics survive all of the change it's currently going through?
Not that I like all the changes that we're going through, but it has to. It has to survive. College football is the second most favorite sport in this country, only behind the NFL, number one. Number two, I think you're going to see an elevation of college football take a new high in attendance and a new high in viewership, primarily because of the playoff system, where you have more teams football. Secondly, you have more networks and over-the-air production and promotion of the game of college football. So that's going to elevate viewership as well. So I think college football is at probably the precipice of growing more this year than it ever has. Amidst all the chaos, I guess I'll put it, with realignment and NIL and transfer portal and everything else, there are a lot of things that have to get settled and organized for us to take advantage of maximizing the potential of college football. But I think it's so strong right now and will elevate itself that even with all the chaos, it'll still be successful and still survive.
I like that. It was a good, well thought out answers. I appreciate that. What's your next one for me, Gary?
Okay. What is Syracuse football going to do this year?
So, looking at the schedule a while back, on paper-wise, I see that they should, if they do what they need to do and they stay healthy, I should see no worse than 8-4. I would like to believe that they can get to 9 or 10, but I think that they could be an 8-win team. I have long banged the drum that alumni are imperative for the sustainability of an institution.
More so ever now.
Right, and to me it's like, if you're a toothpaste company and you have a bunch of people that use your toothpaste and they have healthy teeth and their teeth are white and they don't have to go to the dentist that much, why don't you go back to those people when you're trying to get new people to get your toothpaste? But a lot of former Syracuse coaches who I've had good relationships with, they just didn't value the alumni the same way that I do. And it was heartbreaking because I love the people. They just didn't, I don't know if they saw the value the same. And recruiting locally has been really important to me, and Fran has offered guys in the community. And I've caught flack for supporting the state of New York, for central and upstate of New York, and some Syracuse, I'll call them fans with air quotes, that don't understand why I value New York State so much. And I said, if I'm going to die on a mountain where I'm protecting the children of our future and building up the children of our future and having at least one voice out there in their favor, I'll die on that mountain every day. And Fran seems to care about the community. He seems to care about the alumni. And him and I have been speaking a similar language. So more than wins and losses, he's doing things that I think are not difficult to do. And I hope that every word that he's given us, he lives by in the world of alumni engagement and building up the community. and that him and I together can do some great things, because it is my city, and I love that city dearly. So,
Well, it seems to me that he's doing the right thing.
yeah.
I recently saw the video of him going to the oldest Syracuse season ticket holder
Yeah.
and taking time to visit with him and make his day, so to speak. And knowing a little bit about Fran from Georgia, where he was a very successful recruiter,
Yeah.
he's doing a lot of the same things in Syracuse, and it takes, one recruiting class, as we all know, to be successful in taking that program in another direction. So, we really like where he's going, and 25 could be a great opportunity for them on a big stage against a major power like Tennessee in the SEC to show what Syracuse can truly be in college football.
Yeah, and if my hometown of Syracuse finishes strong, their next game would be that Tennessee versus Syracuse. So that would be a nice little connection between his first year and then the promotion of that Tennessee-Syracuse game. My second for you is, since we both have goatees, living in the goatee world, is our goatee brotherhood above and beyond better than the other ones out there with facial hair? Is the goatee the king? I call it the real goat, right? The greatest of all time. So is the goatee the best of the best? In your
Well, my goatee is a necessity because I've lost it up top, and so I can still prove that I can grow it on my face somewhere. And I just went from a beard to the goatee, so I don't know how long I'll have this thing, but
we got to get Garvey a goatee.
I've seen him with a goatee.
You've seen him with it? Can
Yeah,
you rock it?
It's a little light. It's a little light. A little
okay.
light, but he has some potential. But
Okay.
yeah, we do look pretty good with these goatees, though.
Yeah, I think I think Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, he wore it well. So
Yeah, there you
nothing
go.
wrong with it.
There you
What's
go.
your final rapid fire? for me?
Okay, final rapid fire. Where do you see conference realignment in college football and basketball in 5 years?
So I made predictions like 3 years ago. Well, I made a prediction about the NCAA 6 years ago, and at the time I said in the next 5 to 10 years, it will look very different than we know it, if it exists at all. Speaking of NCAA, and since that time, the transfer portal, crazy realignment, as well as the open free agency of the transfer portal, NIL collectives.
Yeah.
They've proven me right. I didn't want to be right. It was a cautionary tale when I said it about the NCAA. I actually wrote an article about it recently. And beyond that, when I look at...
Do you see the NCAA lasting over
I-
5 years?
I think the NCAA needs an outside body to check it. I think, legislative, executive, and judicial branch in the national government is supposed to have a place on a local and a national level to check each other. We could do better at that. And at the same time, I think the NCAA needs something to keep it honest. And
It's interesting you say that because you're somewhat clairvoyant, because I think with the settlement of the House settlement, I think the number of scholarships, the amount of money that's spent is going to be done by an outside group, not the NCAA.
yeah,
And so I think you're clairvoyant in saying that, because I think they'll have to bring kind of an accounting firm
yeah.
on board to make sure that the money is all flowing the way it should flow through the House settlement.
Yeah, so, for your case of realignment within the next 5 years, and this is absolutely no offense to Stanford and Cal, but my mom used to watch General Hospital, and every day, well, she still does, and every day that I came home from school, she said you can watch General Hospital or you cannot watch television. And what I learned from watching a soap opera is, if you don't see something die, it's not dead. And even if you see something die, it may not be dead. And I have not seen the Pac-12 name disappear. I still see it on the College Football Playoffs website. I have not seen the logo erase itself, the name erase itself. Washington State and Oregon State have not been clear on their football future. So I think that Cal and Stanford, and I don't know if this would be admitted publicly, but in my opinion, Cal and Stanford are here as a Band-Aid, and I think Jim Phillips on the ACC side knows that. I think Cal and Stanford know that, and I think that this is a temporary holding spot for a reemergence of a Western Conference. And I also would not count this out in part of my prediction that Big East football in some iteration may be back.
That's interesting.
Because I think if the ACC were to lose my prediction of 3 years ago, Clemson and Florida State and Miami, potentially another, if that were to happen, and I had my father, a lawyer of 44 years, had him on the show too. He read through the grant of rights, and I said, if I'm going to have a lawyer on, I'm going to give respect to who raised me. And I said, Dad, I'm reading through this, and you guys can go back and watch it on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. But I read through the grant of rights, and how it read, cover to cover, seemed pretty clear. You gave us your media rights until 2036. But there is a caveat, and my dad said if a judge got in front of this that deemed that the ACC did not, in good faith, do everything that they could in their deal with ESPN, if a judge thinks that in the verbiage of this, they didn't fight to the best, they didn't get the most money, and they didn't do all that they could, that could create a loophole based on the judge, which could open it up. And if it opens for one, it opens for all. And if it opens for all, I think there might be some Northeast membership that finds their way to love each other again into something new, but old, maybe.
Well, which is interesting if you go back probably, I don't know how long, 25 years now, if Joe Paterno had agreed to have the Big East, you would have had the Pitt, Penn State, West Virginia, Boston College, Syracuse, Rutgers, conference, which I think would have been great for college football.
And I think there's two names when I look at the ACC logos that should be here, and that's the return of Maryland and West Virginia coming in, because their history, Maryland lies in the ACC, Syracuse, Pitt with West Virginia. There's a life's blood there, because Syracuse is over a decade in the ACC, and I still think that Syracuse fans, and me covering this team from the beginning of my career over 20 years ago, it still feels like we're the new kid on the block, and it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think that there needs to be some type of geographical sensibility of it. And remember, we did have mega conferences, and it blew up, and now we're back to mega. And if I've learned anything about history, if the fanny pack can find its way back, then things always find a way to get in cyclical. So I think there might be some change for sure.
But how ironic it is that Maryland, really because they were in financial trouble, had to leave to go to the Big Ten. And, I would hazard a guess that if you sat here with a Maryland fan, they still feel like you feel with Syracuse, that they still aren't a part of the Big Ten, that they should be in the ACC.
Oh,
and if you look at Nebraska, if you look at leaving the Big 12 for the Big Ten. If you look at Maryland leaving the ACC to go to the Big Ten, I would hazard a guess that they lost their recruiting base, and they've never made it back. Neither Nebraska or Maryland have been very successful with those moves. So, grass isn't always greener.
No, but you can be sure that as things continue to evolve and grow and change, that you and I have been consistent over time to talk with each other. And Gary, for all that you do and all that your team does, you don't have to sit here, and you've always chosen to from really early on in my career. So thank you for giving me a chance in the beginning, and more than anything else, I appreciate our friendship and our fellowship beyond it.
Thank you. I do as well, Dan. Appreciate you. Appreciate what you do for college football, and keep it going. And we'll look forward to hosting you in Atlanta, if not this year, definitely next year when the Orangemen come playing our Aflac kickoff game.
Yeah, Matt's off camera right now. Matt, credential link, I'm in it right now. I'm ready to go. We'll talk with you all soon for the ACC kickoff.
Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the taste of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience, it's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean-to-cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Find GG Cards and Breaks there for you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. And you will have a fantastic experience. Just great people, awesome products, singles, graded, RPAs, which stands for Rookie Patch Auto. So you'll find Rookie Patch Autos, rookie cards, while supplies last, of course, graded cards. Sometimes you find one of ones, which is that card was made one time in the world and never again. GG Cards and Breaks, you never know what you're going to find. It's always the hunt for something cool for singles and packs and boxes and all that stuff. So you can test out a pack or a box and see what you're going to get from it. Or you can go to those singles and those graded cards that they have, the new arrivals boxes. And they're the only place that I know that has every MLB, NBA, and NFL team with their own box. So whoever you're a fan of, you can go to that back wall and pick out, let's say you're a Celtics fan, a Cowboys fan, and a Yankees fan. You can go and pull all those boxes and find each of those teams there for you. I'm a Diamondback, a Jaguar, and a Raptor. What place am I going to go in Central New York where I'm going to find my Arizona team, my Toronto team, and my Florida team? GG Cards and Breaks. Where's the place I'm going to go to find Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Disney Lorcana? GG Cards and Breaks. Where's the place I'm going to go that's constantly fighting all these battles in the background to try and bring in the best product, spending countless hours trying to do something really cool and fun for you? GG Cards and Breaks. Where am I going to find the big kids that love opening cards and love having fun with it, that are running a business and at the same time are in love with this world of sports and trading cards like you are? GG Cards and Breaks. Where am I going to find good, genuine human beings that are honest and true and fair? GG Cards and Breaks. There's one place to go, folks, when it comes to sports cards and trading cards, in my opinion, and we are proudly saying GG Cards and Breaks. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Trade night was awesome, and you can go and see them Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. I wanted to mention another top dog. Another top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. I said my top dogs of the week are the Central and Upstate New York trading card community. Well, Joe Anarino, I got to give Joe some credit here and show him some love. Joe and I made a deal. It was the first deal that I made last night at GG Cards and Breaks trade night. I'm going out to Philadelphia, so I want to get some Philly cards to go with this little beaut that I got. This is a Gem Mint 10 out of 10 rookie card, NFL debut, special refractor here of the one and only Jalen Hurts. Well, Joe has a bunch of graded cards. He's been opening packs and then grading them in lots, and so I got the pink parallel rookie card 9, PSA 9 of Devontae Smith. I got this to bring out to Philadelphia for you Eagles fans. And I also got this Devontae Smith. I might have this one or one of the cards that's like it, but rookie card Flux of Chrome of Devontae Smith here. Flux rookies out of Chronicles, graded a PSA 9. So I got 2 Devontae Smith 9s, and I got this for my private collection. I got this beautiful cracked ice of Drew Jones Gem Mint 10 out of 10 of the Arizona Diamondbacks to put in my collection. And Joe Anarino gave me one of my favorite cards that literally faces me, I told him this last night, and looks at me during the show, and that is my orange sapphire 25 out of 25, literally number 25 out of 25 in the world, Jordan Travis Auto Gem Mint 10 out of 10 PSA of a gentleman that's been on my show a bunch of times, who is now a quarterback on the Jets roster, and I think will have an opportunity in a couple of years to become the Jets starting quarterback when Aaron Rodgers is all said and done. But hopefully Aaron Rodgers has a lot more left in the tank before he's all said and done. So big time shout out to Joe Anarino for our deal that we did last night. Joe, an awesome guy, a fair guy, gives a ton of support to GG Cards and Breaks, is great in our trading card community, and of course this Jordan Travis I got from him, which sits right here in my studio, which is personal to me, meaningful to me, and a beautiful card. And so thank you to Joe, another one of my top dogs in the Central and Upstate New York trading card community. And many thanks to all of my top dogs of the week. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I can't believe that the show's done. It's like it starts and I'm like, okay, we got an hour and a half to go and got all these things going on. And then all of a sudden the show's all set. And I'm like, oh, okay. I hope y'all have a great day. You know what I mean? So time flies when you're having fun. We're always having a great time here on Wake Up Call. Thank you for being with us all over the world. You're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, our first home of New York, our second home of Florida, building all those bridges to North Carolina, including working with Brooklyn Pickle and Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, just a few minutes down the road from some of the best golf courses in America at Pinehurst. I love everything we get to do. We've been in the Midwest, and I've been to Kansas, been through Iowa, been to Texas, went out to the West Coast, went out to Arizona, brought my dad to the World Series. We brought each other, I should say. So kind of gave a gift to each other to go out and see Game 3 of my Diamondbacks this past season against the Rangers. So to everyone all over the country, thank you. We've had people all over the country watch and listen to the show and support the show, and I can't thank you enough. We've had people all over the world. To my family in Spain, thank you. God bless you. I love you. Te amo. Te amo mucho. And todos los días. And, as far as my family in Italy, I would love to connect with you, and I send you my love as well. And, to all the countries that have listened. And everybody everywhere, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching and listening. If you're out there, on a cruise or whatever you're doing out there on the boat, I know people have listened in the skies, and I greatly thank you for that. People have listened on vacation. So much love to everybody. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. And, of course, once the shows go live, they hop into the archives. We added some stuff to the archives. I'll be adding more to the archives coming up here in the not-too-distant future, so make sure you're staying close to us on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And, of course, finding us on the archives that are on your screen right now, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Subscribe and follow on these outlets so you never miss a show again. It will update itself. So if you follow us on like Amazon Music or iTunes, for an example, when I add shows to the archive, it'll alert you and shoot you like a text, like shoot you a little message and let you know that, I should say an alert. And that alert will tell you like there's a new Wake Up Call episode, come and listen, which is awesome. And I believe a lot of these will save the last episode that you were on, so you can restart that episode, or you can listen and watch another episode as well. So make sure you check it out, and thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you so very much for everybody that's linked up with us on all of our many outlets. A big time thanks to our incredible Central and Upstate New York partners. Much love to Heritage Hill Brewhouse and Heritage Hill North. We'll be at Heritage Hill North tonight, and we look forward to seeing you out there, celebrating the CNS North Stars, celebrating their longtime trainer Pete Moore here in our community, and a bunch of the student athletes that he's trained are going to be out there with us. The families are going to be out there. I cannot wait to share this experience with you, so please come out and hang out with us tonight, August 16th, 6 p.m. for the CNS North Stars training special broadcast with Pete Moore and student athletes on site, on location, Heritage Hill, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York. We'll see you tonight. Big time thanks to Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, 2017 North Street in Liverpool, New York. Go out and see them today. They're going to be closing their store for their time at the fair. So go to their store today. Let them know that DT sent you, and then go see them at the fair in just a few days. Pizza Man, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, Servomation Refreshments, revitalizing and reimagining what it's like to have vending technology in your places of work, places of business, and, of course, colleges and universities. And, of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Dolphins with us during Dolphin Time. That is Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time weekly. you will find your Dolphins with us, with stories featuring student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Over 3 years of content is available to you by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out the Lemoyne playlist. You can also find the Dolphins by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com, and as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcat Buzz every single month here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse inside of the Bobcat Buzz with student athletes, coaches, and administration telling the stories of men's and women's soccer, which have each won national championships. Should I say that again? They have each won national championships. National championships. So men's soccer has won multiple, and women's soccer just won in 2021 here in the 2020s, and looking to do it again. Men's and women's basketball, baseball, and esports. You will find them on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find the BSC Syracuse playlist. They have 2 campuses, one on James Street in Syracuse, up the road from the city of Syracuse. And you'll also find them on Route 57, right off of Route 57 in Liverpool, across the street from Avicoli's. And you know you'll be eating good when you're at class and then can go right over to Avicoli's. The Bobcat Buzz. Find them on YouTube and find them on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and to the incredible team, Nolan and Clay and Nick and Alex and Sean and Connor and Tay. I want to make sure I hit everybody here. Mary. Shout out to everyone out there, all the assistants, all the volunteers, all the student athletes. Much love to Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. Go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and what we call Bearcat Time. Each month we're featuring specials, Moments with Marshall, featuring Gene Marshall, the athletics director of Binghamton University, with a behind-the-scenes look from the leader of the athletics department. And, of course, the Bearcat Break Room, stories with student athletes, coaches, and administration, including Olympians, no big deal, actually a very big deal, big-time Olympian Emily Mackay, who is on the broadcast. Big-time shout-out to her and to her coach, Annette Acuff. Those specials are on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of our Binghamton specials are there on the Binghamton playlist. You can also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to bubearcats.com and go Bear Cats. Here on Wake Up Call, I want to thank you for tuning into the show today. Y'all are amazing. I send you my love. Big time shout out to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week and being the only home of my DT Dolphins Sunday and ode to the Lemoyne Dolphins. Big time shout out to my brother Jimmer Sikowski and Chick-fil-A Cicero for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Remember, no matter what stacks against you, God will always help you to have real, recognize real, and that'll always come through. I know it has with me, no matter what's been stacked up against me. So believe that the real ones will find you, and God will help you move forward on your path towards your dreams. If you let him, you have faith in him, you're willing to work at it. And if I can give you any advice, I would love to go back in time and save myself a lot of energy and not allow myself to be stressed out. So don't be stressed. God bless, no stress. Do your best. As I always say here on the show, trust God that the real ones will find you if you're out there being a real one. So keep being a real one. Top dog of the week, the trading card community of Central and Upstate New York. Much love to y'all. I got a bunch of things from you. So many things. I can't fit them all on the screen. They're everywhere. From our awesome trade night. Love trade night. So I want to, once again, give a shout out to Curtis Tillman III. Give a shout out to Tony Pascarella. Give a shout out to Red. Give a shout out to Josh Gideon, the owner of GG Cards and Breaks. Shout out to Bobby, and a shout out to Joanna Reno. Much love to each and every single one of you and everybody that came out last night. And thank you. And of course, last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, save the best for last, right? Gary Stokan, incredible human being, a wonderful guy. You talk about real, recognizing real. This man gave me a chance, sat down with me at a time where people were probably like, who is this guy, out here doing his own business? What's it all about? And, he treated me as a human being. He gave me a shot. He gave me a chance. He didn't care who I worked for. He just cared about the content of my character. And Gary Stokan is one of those guys you'll run through a wall for because he does right by you. We talk about faith. We talk about God. And he's always looking out for a real one. So God bless you, Gary. I appreciate you. Matt Garvey, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the Aflac Kickoff game, Peach Bowl Inc. in general. Go back and watch that special. It's going to air at noon by itself. So for those of you that like that DT on the CFP special with Scotty Rogers, as well as the one with Gary Stokan, Gary's is going to air today at noon. The one with Scotty's already up. Go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe. Hit the notification bell. My goal in the not too distant past was to get 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We now have 1,116, I think, as of this morning. So thank you. Go check out that special, Gary Stokan. And please, down in Atlanta, Georgia, go to the Aflac Kickoff game. Go to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The national championship for the college football playoff expanded to 12 teams is going to be in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year. Go and see that. And just help out Peach Bowl Inc. Look at what they're doing in the community. Look at what they're doing for childhood cancer and trying to help people have longer lives, hopefully have cures. Gary Stokan is an incredible human being, and everything about our conversation that, was about football took a back seat to faith and goodness and service to others and trying to find cures and help for people with cancer. So I love you, Gary. I love you, Matt. You guys know that. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for always treating me with the utmost respect, and just thank you for believing in me so many years ago. I love you for that, and I love that we're growing and building together, and I really look forward to partnership. So a lot of great stuff coming up. Shout out to Gary and Matt. Shout out to you. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll see you tonight, Friday, August 16th at 6 p.m. for our CNS North Stars training special with Pete Moore and a ton of student athletes. Come out to Heritage Hill, get some dinner, get some drinks for those of you that are of age, and of course, drink responsibly. We will be out at Heritage Hill North, CNS North Stars Spotlight tonight, August 16th, 6 p.m., Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York. We will see you there. I send you all my love, and keep being a real one. Like I said, real recognizes real. And thank you to Gary for all the work that you and your team are doing. It doesn't go unnoticed. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Got to say it again. Have a great day, and be well, everybody.